Let's see.
Welcome to Intercontinental Toastmasters. My name is Abhijit. Before we proceed, everyone, please turn on your cameras. Please help me welcome our Toastmaster for today. She is coming from Bahamas. Elma, it's all you.
Let's see those hands. Thank you, thank you. You make me feel so warm and welcome. Oh, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Abhishek. Hello and welcome to another exciting meeting of the Intercontinental Advanced Toastmasters. We are so glad to have you, our members, our visitors, and we trust that this evening's meeting that you will make an impact on your lives. Our theme this evening is kindness. Let us welcome our guests, our members, our guests. And when you introduce yourself, just tell me one kind deed you did today. Let's start with Ismail. Introduce yourself and tell me one kind deed you did today or for the week.
Okay. Hi, Helma. Yeah, my name is Ishmael Hamao. So this week, I helped my team achieve their goal, and I helped the whole engagement meet their filing deadline. So my client was really happy. So that's one of the good thing I did this week.
Great. Great. Let's go to Pramadesh, sorry.
I actually don't remember if I have been in if I have not, because I don't remember if I have been kind or something. It's others to decide whether I am kind or not.
Okay, thank you, Pramadesh. How about Deanna? Can you put in the chat? Introduce yourself, put in the chat the one kind thing you did today, one kind word you said today. Put it in the chat for me, please. Thank you. How about Anne-Marie? Introduce yourself. Tell me one kind word you said or one kind deed you did today or during the week.
How many of you have teenagers?
Thank God I don't have teenagers anymore. I have adults.
Okay, well, I got a teenager and she claims to be independent at university. And she called me and said, Mom, I got no money. I said, why have you got no money? You've got an allowance. She said, Mom, I got no money. And I sent her some money, despite my better judgment. So I think that was extremely kind. I'm taking it out of my inheritance to her. And that was my deed.
Thank you, Anne-Marie, for being so kind to your teenager. I'm sure she appreciates that. Okay, Dan, what about you? Introduce yourself and tell me one kind word or kind deed you did today or during the week.
Hey there. But I've mostly been at home and haven't interacted much with other people, so can't think of anything I've done this week, to be honest with you. Sorry.
You came into our meeting tonight and you're IGE.
Yeah, I don't know if
kind deed. Thank you.
that's an act of kindness, but
Abhishek, what about you?
Yesterday, I got an email from my friend, and she has a contest tomorrow, and she wanted a feedback on her speech. So we sat together for 15 minutes, and I was able to give her some feedback because a tall tales is a totally different kind of a speech, a lot of exaggeration. So we are able to work things out. Back to you, Elma.
Thank you, Abhishek. Right, what about, let's see, Kevin? Introduce yourself and tell me one kind word or kind deed you did today or during the week.
Hi, everyone. One kind deed that I did today. Let's see. I think I was very kind to myself, having a nice morning breakfast, getting something for lunch because I was too sick of eating my own food, the food that I cooked back a week ago that I've eaten for a week. and just having a great day. I think that was a kind deed to myself.
Honestly, thank you. Thank you, Kevin. How about Stephen? Kind word, kind deed you did for the week or today?
Yeah, so the other day I was having officer meeting in our club. Some members does not know how to use VPN because lots of good stuff are banned in China, like Google, YouTube. So I taught them how to use VPN. So I believe they know how to use YouTube now, or yeah, that's one thing I did.
Great, great. Thank you, thank you. What about Avis? Kind word, kind deed today or for the week? Sorry, you're muted, Avis. I know you're so excited, right?
My apologies. Good evening, good night, good afternoon, all. The kind deed that I did today was to take some lunch for my son. I took a break and I didn't only feed myself, I went and bought him his favorite sushi. Back to you.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. How about Ketky? Ketky, yes, Ketky, Josie.
Yes, hi. You can just
Kind
call me
word,
Kate.
kind deed you did today or for the week?
So I wouldn't say it was kind, but sometimes patience helps. Being patient helps. So I work in a pharmacy, and there's this shortage going on. I don't know if you guys know this, but some medications have been in back order for quite a few months now. So the patients who are on medications for their ADHD and stuff, they are really suffering. And so this customer called us, and he was really irate, wasn't very happy with the fact that the medications are not in stock, or he basically, we weren't able to fill his medications. So he was not happy with my answers, but then eventually he kind of knew that it wasn't me who wasn't filling the medications, or it wasn't us who weren't filling the medication. So he called back the next day and apologized. So I guess being patient or being calm was helpful. So
Yes.
yeah, just that.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Let's see. Last but not least, Raku. Kind word, kind gesture you did today or during the week. Share with us, please.
I was kind to myself. I was kind to animals by joining this moment called Sattvic moment. This is all about bringing the change in your lifestyle. I have left eating meat in 2005, and this week I have left all the dairy products for my life. And this way, it is your way that you can be kind to animals who are being tortured in those dairy farms to milk them. And I think you all should think about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Raghu. And Deanna, she has, my name is Deanna. I feel kindness to you and Toastmasters work team. Awesome, Deanna. Thank you. Thank you. I think I got everybody. Did I get Sasha? Did I give you a chance to speak?
Yeah, sure.
You did? Okay, go ahead.
No, I didn't get.
Go ahead and introduce yourself and tell me one kind word or kind deed you did this week or today.
Sure. My name is Sachin. I am from Bangalore, India. And I haven't been benevolent to myself today because I woke up early and went for a run, 10-kilometer run, and back here with you all beautiful people.
Thank you. So great to have you here. I see Ishmael has his hand raised.
It's all the time.
Okay, all the time. Anyway, my name is Elma Patrinos, and my kind deed is to serve as your Toastmaster for tonight. It's a pleasure, and I trust that everything that we learn helps us to show that kindness, pay that kindness forward. With that said, let us call our grammarian, Anne-Marie, to give us the word of the day. Anne-Marie.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. And yes, I'm the grammarian that your teachers all warned you about. I am going to be as kind as possible tonight because I'm going to be benevolent. Benevolent means kind, charitable. So you're going to be using the word benevolent in every single sentence, word, paragraph tonight. Please, please make an effort to get that word in. Benevolent, used in a sentence, you have a benevolent smile. Be benevolent in your feedback. So I'm starting to count. Over to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Madam Grammarian. Okay. Kindness, I found this quote on the internet and I love it. Kindness is free. Sprinkle it everywhere. And I use it for my backdrop. So please be reminded it is free. Sprinkle it everywhere you go. Starting with this meeting. Our first speaker is Raghu, and his evaluator is Anne-Marie. I will call on Anne-Marie to give the objectives of his speech. Toastmaster Anne-Marie.
Yes, Raghu is on a journey, and his journey has just begun. And the purpose of the speech is for Raghu to demonstrate his skills as a leader and public speaker. He's going to be speaking to us for 5 to 7 minutes about his plan and his vision.
I'm sorry,
Raghu,
it is my speech too, and it's 8 to 10 minutes.
that's what you call living on the edge and just getting the details at the last minute. Okay, Raghu is going to be speaking for 8 to 10 minutes, but it's the same project, I hope, working to achieve another DTM. He is going to be focusing on an organized speech about his project and sharing aspects of it, including the end result. I'll be evaluating the speech, not as a project, but as to his time and effectiveness in completing the project and the benefits. Over to you, Raghu.
An idea can change your life. An idea can make a difference in your life. You know, something happened in Coca-Cola when somebody gave an idea to bottle it. The person who gave idea had got a fat check. And what did the company make? Millions and billions out of that single idea. That's just what happened to me. I was searching for an idea, what to go with and how to do my 4th DTM project. That's when I enters this wonderful lady from District 117, the division director there, Lori Luna, who gave me an idea to coach and to mentor people on their HPL, a high performance leadership projects, or DTM projects. I gave a thought and I thought it is the best thing that I can do. I can help. And this way I can help make leaders. This is the right choice for me and to grow as a leader, because all my life I've been an individual contributor, and there most of time I kept work to myself, doing work myself. That load has put so much load on myself that I never delegated things, and that has disturbed my life and also others who are working with me, whether it's in Toastmaster or whether it is outside Toastmaster in my personal and professional life. Well, I grew as a leader as part of this project. My main goal was to help as many people as possible to achieve their distinguished Toastmaster award or complete their difficult levels and projects and pathways. I did some of marvelous things with the help of my friends, mentors, and few team members in different aspects. Starting with mentoring, I had people joining from Africa, the countries like Zimbabwe, Kenya, etc. And then people joining from United States, and then also from India. I not only got to coach them, also mentored them. Started a program where we used to meet at least once in a week that I posted across different forums in Facebook and other social media platforms where people join that sessions to clarify all their doubts about whether it is level 4, level 5 projects or HPL project or district Toastmaster. It was a wonderful opportunity to help them on that path. Apart from that, I did private mentoring for few people, almost 20 plus people who joined from different countries and helped them to know more about doing DTM project or with the different steps, how to achieve it, or to do some things like speechcraft, or whether it is youth leadership program, chartering a club, etc. I help about 30 people to get district leadership program, a district leadership role in different districts, District 117, Founders District, including District 101, where I help Aguila this year to get an area director role. It's a marvelous fact that when last year I was struggling to get an area director role in District 101, this year I was able to help somebody to get into this role. I think that's the change how it works when you start working as a servant leader, when you want to help others and not yourself. We started one club, Toastmaster for Hyderabad entrepreneurs. In this program, we not only help people who join as members, but also few people to achieve their goals in DTM, 2 people who got mentor credit, and 2 people who got the sponsor credit. Going forward, we also did a speechcraft program. The speechcraft program was an overwhelming this time because we had 30 members who joined across United States and India. The 6 speech coordinators. It was a struggle to get best ones. At the same time, people who should get opportunity to do that, and then best speakers to come and give sessions there. There was a confusion when we had a speaker for the last session, but this person didn't join. When it was Yolanda. I thought it was Yolanda Ramo, and I sent a mail to different person in California, the Lions, instead of the actual person. And even that person dropped in the last minute. And that time we had to get 2 different speakers to cover that subject, but we were able to achieve that with help of our team. Toastmaster Ashwin, who helped me as a team member in managing across this project. He was able to complete his DTM project as part of this speechcraft. And we had 6 speech coordinators who got credit towards their DTM. We had Toastmaster Natasha, we had Toastmaster Sarika, and DTM Susan and others who were able to get this credit. And then we had a Charles who I didn't know till then, but then I got the reference through our EGD, Club Door Director, DTM Rajiv Bandhan Pure. And then he was able to achieve 1 step towards his DTM. It was a wonderful opportunity to learn and to grow more. But thing is, I also learned how to delegate things, delegating, getting things done. Always, it was overwhelming for me when things were not done in the time. I used to go and seek, send some mails on my own, or get into things and trying to get things done myself. But as part of this project, I learned to how to delegate better and get things done. But still, I did some mistakes and I got my feedback in 360 degrees feedback when somebody has given me that hearing. I didn't like when you interrupted in between the speaker. I didn't like when you kept to yourself of the speaker change and you just got those two speakers instead of that. That's a good thing. But you must have communicated that to entire team of speech coordinators and you should have done that. So that got me in thinking so that I can and I should delegate more better. And I should be able to manage. So that got me into a thinking mode and I started working and improve myself. This time it was a time for another project that was chartering Toastmaster professional with the help of the speech craft that we did. We got about 24 members who have signed up for this club. And I gave an opportunity for 2 members to get a mentor credit and 2 members as a sponsor. Again, this was one of the amazing things when we were able to charter this club in just 6 weeks. This has helped not only the district to achieve its goal, it's a win-win situation for everybody who were part of this club. Some people who just reinstated their membership from India, some people from other parts of United States who wanted to take an officer role, some people who wanted to improve their professional skills. Working with the team on this project was one of the wonderful things, getting a club in not only in District 101, but getting a club where we had different people, actually people from different parts of the world and also different professionals. Somebody is a doctor, somebody is on a medical background, somebody is on an IT background, somebody is on a financial background, and everybody is together to improve their professional skills. But did the journey stop there? No. Next, I started with starting with the new speechcraft program, which was Communicate to Excel. This time, it was not that great, but we had 2 speech coordinators who got opportunity just one step towards their DTM. And we had 10 members who signed up, all from India. But this time, I delegated completely and I made it as a DTM project for our dear friend Toastmaster Hushike. I delegated it completely with him and just mentoring at high level. I had support from district officers like District 117 and District 101 from PQDs, both the PQDs here, who has helped me to achieve also spreading and giving the different sessions on both the pathways and DTM. We did a wonderful session in District 101, District 117 on how to achieve DTM award. It was a 1-hour session in both the districts, and there was an overwhelming response when I sent it out and shared with different people. This is just the beginning of my journey to become a servant leader, to be able to delegate things, to be able to grow as a leader. The journey doesn't stop here. It has just begun, and I'm ready to serve each one of you in whatever role I can. A servant leader in the making. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Raghu, a servant leader in the making. All right, let's hear from our second speaker, Abhishek. Who will be speaking from the pathway Persuasive Influence, Level 5, Lessons Learned. His evaluator is Avis Russell. I will now call on her to give the objectives of Abhishek's speech. Avis?
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day. The purpose of Abhijit's project is for him to learn about and apply the skills needed to run a lesson learned meeting during a project or after its completion. The purpose of his speech is for him to share some aspect of his leadership experience and the impact of a lesson learned meeting. Speech title, An Unexpected Situation. 5 to 7 minutes. Abaji, An Unexpected Situation. Take it away.
It was March 8th, 6:55 p.m. We were celebrating the Women's International Day. I was at Denver Airport. Our panel discussion was about to start in 5 minutes. There were 100 people online and 100 people trying to get online. But our moderator was having trouble to get in the meeting. What would you do in that moment? That incident taught me two big lessons. Going back last year, March 9th, 2022, we had big success hosting a panel discussion, Women in Leadership. We had two people, two VPs from NVIDIA and one past president of Toastmasters, Pat Johnson. We had over 60 people coming to that event. We wanted to replicate that success this year. So we knew that we are going to have this event on March 8th. I emailed my executive VP, Deb, if she can be available for the panel discussion. Unfortunately, she was very busy during this month, so she was not available. It kind of demotivated me a little bit. So I took a back seat. I asked my friend, Katsuko, to see if she can look for the panelist who can add some value to our members. She went ahead and got two panelists, but one of the panelists was just beginning her leadership journey. We are looking for someone who is a seasoned leader. I decided to step up a little bit. I just messaged a few of the VPs at NVIDIA. I was blown away that out of the 6 people I sent, I got yeses from 4 immediately. I just needed 2 more people, but I had 4 more people said yes. So finally, at the end of it, we ended up having 5 people on the panel. We sent out nearly 5,000 emails for the event, which was going to be held on March 8th. At the last moment, my company said they would like to collaborate with us, meaning we would not be hosting that event on Zoom. We would have to host it on Teams. Though I use Teams daily, I don't have much experience using it for an outside event. So I created a Teams event and put in a firewall of a registration link. That was a big issue. Because in Zoom, a registration link works just fine. But in Teams, I did not know. I wanted to put in a firewall because I was opening that event to outside people and we didn't want any kind of Zoom bombing. On the day of the event, we tried to make sure the links were working. Some people were having trouble, but my webmaster from District 101 told me that the link is working fine. I didn't have much time that day because I was flying from Florida to the Bay Area. As the time was coming, 5:30 p.m., I logged myself in and I asked the moderator, Solzar, hey, Solzar, are you on the line? He said, he's just trying to get on the board. My heart was racing a little bit. 10 minutes, nothing happened. He could not get in. He tried to uninstall his Teams, reinstall it. Nothing was working. I called the IT support from my company, trying to get him online so that he can moderate that panel discussion. But next 15 minutes, nothing was working. There was one panelist who was outside from NVIDIA. She was also having trouble getting on the Teams. People started coming in as the Teams meeting opened. We had the 3 panelists, the 3 VPs. And as people started racing in, we had to make an executive decision. We knew at that moment that Solarzar, who was the moderator of that panel, is not going to be available. What would you do in that crunch moment when you have 100 people waiting on you and looking forward to that event? One good thing happened the day, few hours before. I had called Solarzar and asked him to send the questions to all the panelists. At that moment, I decided to take all the control under me and made sure that my phone, my laptop, everything is ready because I need to introduce the panelist. I need to know what questions to ask. I also need to know what they are saying because I have to summarize it and then work with each and every panelist. I was able to get the questions. I was able to get the intro. Finally, at 6:05, we decided to start the event. As the event was starting, my heart was racing because I know I was not prepared. But slowly and steadily, as I introduced the panelist, I knew I could do it at that moment. In the next 1 hour, I was so engrossed in that panel discussion that I did not know the time was flying. We had over 101 people attend that event. Once the event got done, we started going through the lessons learned of what happened that day. The first thing we learned is always use a platform where we know how to execute it. So we decided that next time we are hosting a Teams event, we have some help from HR. But the biggest lesson I have had that day was be ready for any moment's notice. Because that day, if I had not been ready, the repercussions would have been very big because we had the whole company, the China, the India, the US, everyone coming online. So always remember, be ready for any moment's notice. And from that time onwards, we decided that we are going to execute things in such a way that all people can attend, not just NVIDIA, but we also want to be very inclusive so that all people can get benefit of it. As I go back, I encourage you to do the same. Be ready for any moment's notice. Sometimes you have to take things in your hand so that the event can be a success.
Thank you. Thank you, Abhijit. Be ready. As your benevolent host tonight, I will afford you a minute to give feedback to both speaker number 1 and speaker number 2. You can send it in the chat directly to them. Tommy, can you put a minute on the clock, please? Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Timer. Kindness is selfless. It's being benevolent, it's compassionate, and merciful. Its greatest power is revealed in practice to our enemies and amongst the least of these among us. Let us hear from our third and final speaker this evening, Toastmaster Sachin, and we'll ask his evaluator, Kevin Lynn, to give the perspective of his speech. Kevin, are you ready?
Yep.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Alma.
You're
Sachin
welcome.
will be speaking from the pathway Persuasive Influence. This will be his level 1 speech project, Introduction to Vocal Variety and Body Language. The purpose of this project is for Sachin to practice using vocal variety or body language to enhance the speech. Back to you, Elma.
Thank you. Take it away, Sachin.
All of you must have been amazed by the eye-popping stunts done by those young just walking, and my mom told me I've been walking since the age 1, and now I'm 43. I have been walking for so long. Why can't I skate? Let's give it a try. So I went to Decathlon to buy brand new skating shoes along with my daughter. She is very good at it. Promise, I promise. And irony is that I taught her all this instrument. So I thought of practicing in the afternoon when nobody's watching me fall down. So stage 1, tie the laces, go out, sit there. And I was trying to get up. Pull up the legs, Sachin. I was slipping, so I couldn't get up the ground. The whole hour I was just sitting there, and whole practice session was lost in just getting up. Strange. Next stage, I decided just to hold the wall. I was literally making an exponential curve with the wall. I couldn't stand up. I barely could. So, what to do next? So next stage, I decided to go slowly. So I just held the wall and be there steady for as long as I can hold it. It was okay. Next stage, I thought I'll try to lift my leg. Okay, the next session, it's not actually the sequentially doing on the same day, but successive days, weeks, time. So I tried to lift my right leg. I could feel it is 3 times heavier than the normal weight. What's happening? Then I tried to lift my left leg. Tuck, tuck, tuck. I was looking like the 1980s Terminator movie robot. Tuck, tuck, tuck. That's the way it is, probably. Next stage, I thought, I'm okay now. Okay, so I thought of moving forward. So next day, I stood up and tried to push myself ahead. Hold the pillar, Sachin, hold it, otherwise you may fall. I could stop myself from that perpetual motion, thankfully to a pillar. So it was my overconfidence that I know everything and I can go ahead. So I continued without being so kind to myself. I am a man of resilience. So I started slowly taking smaller steps. Third, oh, my bottom is paining. It happened once, twice, thrice, multiple times, but I didn't give up. I continued. Then I realized this is going nowhere. I'm actually not learning the skating properly. Something invisible, something very strong was blockading my path of learning the skating. What was it? What was it? After multiple practice sessions and some YouTube videos, I realized if I could bend slightly in my knees, I can balance for a longer duration. Yeah, this is okay. This seems to be working fine. So I continued balancing and continuing the skating. So I got a moment of realization that day in my story. My ego was representing my knee. If I could bend my ego, I could learn skating nicely. I could learn it easily. So this is a learning for us, guys. Whenever we are learning something, we don't have to be complacent that I know everything, we know everything, we can achieve it. But we need to be nimble, humble, and put aside our ego and focus on the learning. So that was my learning. Back to you, Toastmasters. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Sachin. Skating, I love skating. And I had a couple of bumps and bruises myself. Okay, Mr. Timer, can you put a minute on the clock so that the audience can give their feedback directly to our speaker? Sachin, look in the chat, SACHIN. As we get ready for our table topics session, which is segment 2 of our meeting, let me just check something out here. Is our table topics ready? Okay, let us call to the lectern, none other than he's our timer, Ismail, with our exciting table topics segment. He will introduce his role and begin his session. Ismail.
Good evening, everyone. I'm the table topic master for today. I'll be calling some questions, then I'll be calling people randomly to answer the question. So the first question is, what life lesson did you learn the hard way? What life lesson did you learn the hard way? Anne-Marie.
I've got 2 rows tonight and I'm trying to write the report, so do forgive me. I'd love to be part of your table topics.
Got it. Abis, would you like to go?
I'm sorry, what was your question?
What life lesson did you learn the hard way? What life lesson did you learn the hard way?
Avis, you muted yourself. Avis, you muted yourself.
Sorry, what life lessons I'd learned the hard way? I would say it would have to be relating to my marriage. I was married for some 22 years. So it took me that long to realize it just is not working. It just, I wouldn't say couldn't work, because I believe it could work, but I had to go through all the ordeal. I had to experience certain situations to make a decision and move forward in my life. So after 22 years, I still feel like I could have given it one more try, maybe. But that would be something I have to just not dwell on, because there were many, many situations that I forgive and moved on. So I would say it was really a hard lesson to learn, but one that made me into this person that I am today. So I thank God for all the many trials and for the disposition that I have today. I can forgive, I can love. Thank you for that question.
Thank you, Avis. The next question is, what gets you excited about life? What gets you excited about life? Pramatesh.
That is an interesting question. As I grow older, I can see that there are more and more things that makes me excited. When I was younger, it was very limited to me. What are the things that got me excited, like going to clubs, uh, partying with friends. However, now it is very different. I get excited with very small things, like when I see a flower blossom, that also gets me excited. When I see someone smile at me, that makes me excited. When I see a kid uh, coming to me and playing with me, that makes me excited. I see happiness everywhere around. So this perspective made me more excited throughout. So that's all. Over to you, Mr. Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Pramatesh. Little things get me excited as well. The next question is, have you done anything lately worth remembering? Have you done anything lately worth remembering? The question goes to Dan.
Hey, well, I spent like last 3 years kind of sick in bed, so pretty sure I'm going to be remembering that. Sorry, I'm really out of it right now. I kind of overexerted myself today and on the verge of falling asleep. Can we just go on? Sorry.
No worries. Kevin, do you want to try?
What?
Sorry. Let me see if I got the question. It's anything worth remembering?
That's correct.
Okay. This was about a month ago. I made a promise with my sister to have dinner with her and her boyfriend. It was a really rare opportunity that her boyfriend came to us from the East Coast. So I really valued that. And we made that promise. And then something came along. I have a friend who I danced together. She came to me and said that, hey, there's this weird guy at the dance studio that she doesn't really feel too comfortable with. And I also made a promise to her. I said, hey, if you ever feel uncomfortable, you can let me know when you're going and I will be there for you. These two promises coincide on the same day. I could only go to one of them. I was torn. I value both my friend and my sister and her boyfriend a whole lot. And at the end, I made a really hard choice. I think my friend needs me there. So that's what I decided to do. I told my sister that I'm really sorry that I will need to break her promise because of this. I was expecting her to be frustrated. I mean, I would be. But then she came to me and said, Kevin, that's all right. And to be honest, I thank you to want to fulfill our promise, even at the expense of your friend, your dance, and the things that you like. So thank you for that. And that to me is something that I will never forget, because that kindness she showed me, I think it's something that's simple to her, but it means a whole lot to me. Back to you, Ishmael.
Thank you, Kevin. The next question is, how would you describe freedom in your own word? How would you describe freedom in your own word? Steven, do you want to try?
Freedom. In China, we are banned with a lot of apps like Google, YouTube, Facebook, because maybe the government is worried about us knowing too much about how the people on the other side looking at us. So if you're talking about freedom, I think the freedom of speech is something a lot of us does not have, because we are not supposed to see anything bad about our leadership. If you see something, you're gonna be put into jail. This December, some protest was happening in Guangzhou and other areas of China, because the people just to express their freedom of speech by reading a piece of white paper. It's called White Paper Revolution. So freedom of speech is something I wish someday in China, there's going to be some change. People can express themselves freely to make some changes, to express themselves, and we can have some change in China. I mean, for the people, for the good part of this this country. Yeah. Back to you, Asmil.
Thank you, Steven. This is my last question. What do you wish you spend more time doing, 5 years ago? What do you wish you spend more time doing 5 years ago? Ketki, do you want to try?
You're on mute.
Okay, sorry. Thanks for the question. It's a really good question. What would I do 5 years ago? Repeat your question, please.
What do you wish you spend more time doing 5 years ago?
Definitely, I would love to spend more time with my family. I'm on the East Coast, and they are in India, so we don't meet as often as we should. And I really wish I had. Well, they visited, but then the time just flew by. So I wish I had more time with them. I wish I get more time with them, with family and friends. I guess, yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Ketki.
Thank you.
Back to you, Emma.
Thank you, Ismail, for that very engaging, very profound table topic session. Interesting responses. As we get ready for our evaluation segment, let me remind you, now that you can see my full screen, that kindness is free, sprinkle it everywhere. And remember to be benevolent in all your undertakings. I now call to this lectern our GE for the night. Dan, are you ready?
Yeah.
Dan, do you want me to take over?
What?
Do you want me to take over as GE?
I think I can like call people's names and such.
Okay, perfect. Sure. Sounds
Okay,
good.
thank you, Dan. Thank you, Abhishek.
Yeah, thank you very much. Anne-Marie, could you please give your evaluation for Raghu's speech?
So thank you for the opportunity to multitask today. And Raghu, your journey has just begun. No, it actually took my breath away. It was very, very, very detailed analysis. And one thing that you're good at integrating gestures. I remember the open arms at the end, and keep doing that. It really works. Your vocabulary, I can help make leaders, worked as a surrogate leader. I love the way you use your vocabulary, and that's one of your strengths. Another thing that you're very good at is your pace and your conversational style. And you're a very likable, honest type of guy when you give your 360 feedback. I really appreciated that. In terms of the objectives for tonight, it was very clear and your plan was well constructed. You talked about the mentoring, the speechcraft, the charity, and charting a club, And I like the fact that you use poise, you're calm. You're very calm and credible when you give your speeches. There were some opportunities for voice modulation. You talked about sending mail to different people and 360 feedback. You can enhance a speech by using characters and having a vocal range that really lifts the performance. So I would encourage you to use your voice and modulate it when necessary and just to make your point. I was slightly distracted by your background, and we should be looking behind the speaker, but I saw a red chair, I saw gold-lined vanity unit. I would say that because of the nature of your speech, try and get a background that really complements what you are saying. Your journey would have been stronger with some slides perhaps, because you gave a lot of information. You talked about mentoring, speechcraft, and charting a club. And I think for the listener, it'd be good if you had some bullet points to help us along with our understanding. However, overall, I do feel that you did empower me in terms of your journey, and it's very impactful. Your message definitely made a contribution to my thinking about the DTM path. Well done, and it's just beginning. Over to you, Mr. GE.
Thank you. I like the way that you introduced these suggestions for improvement with empowering terms like there were opportunities for vocal variety and it would have been stronger. The way of keeping the suggestions are very upbeat. Thank you. For our second evaluation, could we hear Avis give your evaluation of Abhijit's speech, please?
Thank you, Mr. GE. And thank you, Abhijit, for that benevolent, if I said it right, speech. Your speech, your presentation had a quiet confidence. I really would like to get to that level when I deliver my speech. Great eye contact, facial expressions, hand gestures. Your speech had clarity and you explained the event and engaged the audience, asking us rhetorical questions. I admire your comfort level. Even as you explained the issues with the event, all the issues it would have, and maybe a chance that it may have to be canceled, you remained calm and you took control. After explaining the technical dysfunctions, you resolved all the issues. You stepped up to the plate and it was like a piece of cake. I enjoyed that. Your lessons learned were relatable. We can all take a card from your lessons learned in our life. If we were to plan an event, a virtual event, your suggestion to use the platform is so relatable. It's so seeming. And then your second lesson was to be ready to adapt. You know, if we were to plan a Zoom event or virtual event, we can, or we should have data and Wi-Fi just to make sure it stays up. All in all, great presentation. Back to you, Mr. G.
Thank you very much.
I wanted to.
Not that much to say about that evaluation. So, Kevin, could you please give your evaluation of Saichen's speech, please?
Thank you, Dan. Sachin, you went left, right. If it was me, I would be like left. I highly respect the skateboarders or skaters because I can't do that. I think you can tell the first thing that I want to say about your speech is the body language or the gestures as well, because those dynamic gestures that you show, also some notable one, for example, holding to the wall or walking, going left and right. These are more unconventional and creative usages of your body and your body language. And I think those are really well executed to give your speech a unique touch to it. And not only does they exude humor, you also add on top your own jokes. For example, you went this left and right and relate that to the Terminator. And I think that those two aspects combined together really forms your own flavor of humor. And that was really well done. Now, on the topic of gesture though, there's one part when you went close and you said, practice in the afternoon so that people don't see me fail or fall down. That part, I want to comment that going close to the camera is a big gesture. So I want to use that with caution and use that with purpose because that will stick around. When it's using for something that is more like a joke, it doesn't feel that effective. And it has the downside of dilating the impact of your future actions. So I would use that with caution and use it with more deliberation. Another one is when you said, the part about bending the knees and you went this and you bend your knees. Now, that part, the focus is not on the arm, it's on the knee. So what you can do is transition from no motion to motion is also a form of motion. So you can go going down the knee. That will bring out more of the intended effect that you want to deliver. The part that I love the most about your speech is when you said the whole speech, it feels planned, practiced, and executed, well executed. If that high standard of execution, I think it's normally underappreciated, but the completeness, the feeling of a well executed speech itself is actually something that is tremendously important. That I want to highlight that, and that was one thing that was really stick out to me. So overall, I really love the choice of your unique usage of your body and combining that with your own jokes and humor. I would caution to use the different big body motions on the things that you would want to have less emphasis on, and instead reserve those for things that are more important, and think about how to best deliver it with the body movement that best fits your message. And at the end, I want to thank you for that really well-planned, that complete and high standard of execution of a speech. Thank you. Back to you, our general evaluator.
Thank you very much. I liked your very kinetic way of demonstrating his body language. I think that some of the critiques might have impacted me a little bit better if you'd personalize them a little bit instead of saying you should do this. I would have found it more effective if you had said, I would have been more engaged if you had done this, but that's just my personal preference. Thank you very much. And with that, could we please hear the counters report? Ramatesh?
Yeah, can I share the report? Yeah. Yeah. This is the counter report. Today the meeting was fairly flawless from most of the speakers. There were few filler words used by Sachin. During her evaluation, Anne Mary and Abby said one the table topics master had quite a number of filler words, and I had a few synonyms. That's all from me.
Thank you very much. I always love those visual charts. It helps keep track of who said what. And with that, Anne-Marie, do you have the grammarian's report?
Thank you, Mr. GE. Well, you were all very kind to the grammarian tonight because there were very few offenses. And I was very pleasantly surprised, but I also was distracted with another role. I particularly was encouraged by Pramatesh because your pacing has drastically got better over the last couple of months. And I think, you know what, you ought to be commended. You were talking extremely fast and now it's at a lovely pace. Guess how many times we use the word of today? Go on, give me a figure. Go on. Okay, I was a little bit disappointed. We use it 5 times. Elma, Alvis, Avis, and Deanna, you are my champions tonight. The rest of you, you need to get that word in. Okay, it's about creativity. Benevolent in the imagery and metaphors. There weren't a lot tonight, but I did hear Raghu. You were a surrogate leader. Kindness is free, sprinkle it everywhere. Wow, Elma. And I want to encourage you all to add a little spice, decoration to your speech. There were some uses of vocabulary which I was very excited about. Avis, I can forgive, I can love. That's poetry in motion. Raghu, you servant leader in the making, and kinetic use of body language, said Dan. So you guys have got it going. We just want to encourage the use of decorative language. As always, there are opportunities for better vocabulary, and dropping the ending of words detracted from the overall performance. I heard project, aspect, impact. Avis, we need to talk. Remember, there's a T, project, aspect, impact. Deal?
Deal.
Good evening, Ishmael. What's missing? Good evening. All right, so just focus because it really does detract from the quality of what you're saying. Going on to pronunciations, I am so excited. Every week it just gets better and better. People do not care about your accents. They really do not. It's about the clarity. And remember in school, we used to say A, E, I, O, U, vowels. Let's try and make sure we use the right E when A and I and U, because I really am picking up on that. Okay, just a reminder, I won't call any names, but we know who we are. When you're benevolent with your consonants, I still have the vent and went. Sashin, I keep nagging them every week about that. So you're new to the game, but it's went and vent. Okay, I did pick up on that. Sitting there, this for this, Kevin, milk them, Raghu, you mean milk them. So remember the consonants, them, not them. There was one mispronunciation, uncomfortable. And I think somebody meant uncomfortable, Kevin. Remember to open your mouth. The wider your mouth, you see how wide I talk? That's how you get the consonants and the vowels spot on. Anything to do with grammar next? Well, I didn't hear anything particularly offensive tonight. And I don't want to be the English teacher because I'm getting a bit of a reputation. But there's one thing, anything I done, anything I did, Dan, you remember the past and the present tense. Grammar police, I was very happy. The speed of talking has got better. Remember, pause, stop, breathe, and think, and that's going to improve grammar. Overall, I really enjoyed tonight. Clear, concise language, strong metaphors. I'd like to see that develop. So I have to be cruel to be kind, but continue with your pronunciations and slow down and rise up to being a grammarian next week, somebody. Over to you, Mr. G.
Thank you. I'll try to remember not to drop the ending of were. And sorry, I couldn't resist. And with that, it's time for the timer, no pun intended. Ismail?
Thank you. Yeah, Raghu spoke for 10 minutes, 31 seconds. Abhijit spoke for 8 minutes, 38 seconds. Sachin spoke for 6 minutes, 3 seconds. AB spoke for 1 minute, 28 seconds. Pramatesh spoke for 1 minute, 29 seconds. Kevin spoke for 2 minutes, 28 seconds. Steve spoke for 1 minute, 37 seconds. Ketki spoke for 48 seconds. Anne-Marie spoke for 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Avi spoke for 2 minutes, 8 seconds. And Steven spoke for 3 minutes, 30 seconds. That's all. Thank you.
Thank thank you very much. Oh, we had 3 excellent speeches today. I think I'm going to leave it at that and turn it back over to the Toastmaster.
Thank you, Mr. G. Wonderful job, everyone. A special thank you, Dan, for serving as our GE. I would like to share this with you all because I believe in giving the roses to persons while they are alive. Our theme for the night is kindness. Our word of the night is benevolent. And the definition of kindness is selflessness, benevolence, compassionate, merciful. And if you want to see someone who depicts those descriptions, just take a look at Abhijit. He fits that category. He steps in immediately without thinking of anything, just filling in the role wherever and whenever. Abhijit, thank you for that. We truly appreciate you. We learn a lot from you because of your benevolence. Thank you and God bless you. We have come to that time where we want to give our guests in the room a moment to share their feedback, what they experienced during the meeting, and how we impacted their lives tonight. Let's start with Ketki.
Yes, hi, thank you. So yes, this was my first ever meeting, or I don't even know what you guys call this thing. But it was good. I was not prepared at all. It was a spontaneous one. And definitely wasn't expecting any questions. I am not, I'm kind of a shy person. I'm very restrictive in who I speak with. And so this was out of my comfort zone, but it was good. I enjoyed all the speeches, and it was good. I learned a new word today, so that was good. And then I guess everybody knows their role. So you guys are awesome. You guys know what you're doing. And it was good. It was really good. So thank you.
Thank you for sharing that with us, Kathy. We did a good job in pretending like we knew what we were doing, right? Yes, but when my first meeting, I was shy and like you didn't know what to expect. But as I continued to attend the meetings, I evolved, I learned, and I love the program. So I would invite you and encourage you to come again. We're like family here, even though we're from different continents, different countries, we gel, as you can see tonight.
Yes. Yes.
So
yes.
feel free to visit us anytime. We meet weekly. And I think you're in that PDT time, this East Coast. Well,
yes.
feel free, the link is the same. Just connect with Abhijit. He'll make sure that you are able to access the room. Thank you for sharing, and thank you for coming.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Now we had another guest, Stephen, who is a regular. He had to leave. And he left something in the chat, so you can go there and read. And we are always grateful to have Deanna with us. Deanna, you can put your remarks in the chat for us, please. And I want to say thank you to all of our speakers, all of our functionaries. Thank you for making this evening's meeting a success. And I see where Frederica was trying to connect to audio from that time. So I guess you'll have to get the recording. Before I end, I just want to leave you all with this quote. We are commanded by our Creator to love our neighbors as we love ourselves and to show kindness to everyone. Love the unlovable. It's been my pleasure to serve as your Toastmaster of the night. Thank you. You've been a very attentive, very supportive, very engaging audience. I appreciate you all. I will now yield this virtual lecture to Toastmaster Abhijit, distinguished Toastmaster Abhijit.
Thank you so much, Alma. Thank you, Deanna, for putting your comments in the chat. I'll read those. I felt like the meeting was good time for table topics, benevolent. So thank you for using the word of the day, Deanna. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. We'll see you all next week, same time, 7:30 p.m. Pacific time. Remember, there is a team time change happening this weekend.
So what does it mean?
For you, it will be 1 hour early, Anne-Marie.
Earlier, I thought it was spring forward, no?
Yes, yeah. So that's why it will be 1 hour early.
Okay.
1 hour early for everyone, including India.
Yeah.
Okay. I always get confused when it comes to